Before President Rodrigo Duterte addresses the public for his fourth State of the Nation address on July 22, the Cabinet Cluster on Economic Development and Infrastructure reported their achievements in the first half of the Duterte administration, as well as their plans for their remaining years in office. Their promise? Game-changing reforms for sustainable development. Several government officials gathered for the Pre-Sona Economic and Infrastructure Forum at the PICC in Pasay City. Executive Secretary Salvador MEDIALDEA welcomed guests by explaining that the theme, Game-Changing Reforms for Sustainable Development, best captures the Duterte administration's actions and accomplishments.
We chose the theme, Game-Changing Reforms for Sustainable Development, because it best captures the actuality. On a broad range of national concerns, the Duterte administration accomplished the change it promised to deliver.
Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III, who heads the government's economic cluster, presented several economic and policy reforms they implemented within the last 3 years. These include liberalization of rice imports, ease of doing business in the country, tax reforms, and amendments to the Banko Central ng Pilipinas Charter. The finance chief is optimistic of better things to come for the nation's economy in the coming years.
The economic theme and the Build, Build, Build theme stand by our commitment to bring down poverty incidence from 21.6% in 2015 to just 14% in 2022.
Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Deputy Governor DIWA GUINIGUNDO also presented updates in the finance sector, most notable of which was the rapid rise of inflation rate as prices of goods dramatically increased in the last quarter of 2018.
Latest headline inflation and emerging forecasts are encouraging as inflation fell within the target range of 2 to 4% at 3.6% in the first 5 months of 2019. This is consistent with recent forecasts and market expectations that would indicate that manageable inflation environment could be sustained in the near and medium term.
The central bank official had nevertheless seized a promising view for the rest of the year and 2020. The term game-changing may not only apply to the economic sector, according to Department of Public Works and Highway Secretary Mark Villar, who touted that the Duterte administration's flagship program, Build, 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 continues to move on the right track to decongest cities and connect islands in the country through construction of more roads, airports, and seaports.
The government has been working really hard to attain the golden age of infrastructure through the impeccable Build, Build, Build infrastructure program.
The country's first smart and green city, New Clark City, was also highlighted during the forum. Basis Conversion and Development Authority President and CEO Vivencio Dizon said the township project will serve as a catalyst for national growth. Also present during the forum were Department of Trade and Industry Secretary Ramon Lopez, Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Ernesto Pernia, Department of Science and Technology Secretary Fortunato de la Peña, and Department of Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi. The Economic Development and Infrastructure Forum is only the first of the 3 Pre-Sona conferences to be held across the country. The second forum, which will tackle another government's thrust for human development, will happen in Cebu City, while the third forum on security and disaster resiliency will happen in President Duterte's hometown, Davao City. This is Neil Arwin Mercado reporting for INQUIRER.net.